Good afternoon. Today we're going to try, for your pleasure, my pleasure, we're going to try the Bruichladdich Islay Barley 2010. This is distilled in 2010, bottled in 2017, aged 6 years in oak cask. So I've had this bottle for a long time. The cork on this tells the tale, but I really didn't have it for since 2017 or 2018 till now. I actually probably bought this in 2021 or 2022, and it had lingered on a shelf. It's 50% ABV. My recollection, I had to get, like I said, a new cork the other day when I opened it to start trying it. My recollection is I think I paid around just slightly less than $70, between $65 and $70 for this bottle, if I remember right. And I don't know, the yellow tin, it's a beautiful tin. Unchill filter, coloring free. I mean, it gives you all the information on there. Plus, you know, it is, they're highlighting that the barley came from Islay that made this whiskey. It's local barley. Everything's locally done. It tells you where the barley came from, I guess the farms that it came from actually. It's just, it's a unique concept in a very well put together package. What do they call it? 6 years old? I think they called this 6 years old, didn't they? I could have swore I seen someone there. Yeah, aged 6 years in oak casks. So we got all the information all over this thing, and a lot of extra information. I think aesthetics, and trust me, at 6 years old, you're not getting any caramel coloring in that at all. That's pure cask coloring. I think it is all. It's all bourbon casks. I'm almost positive of that. I'm sure it probably says on there if I want to read it all again, but I'm not that much. That's a lot of. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is a complete bourbon cask. And this is Bruichladdich, so this is not a peaty whiskey, even though it comes from Islay. Sometimes you'll notice a hint of peat in it. We'll get to that all in just a second. Ex-bourbon casks, that's what I thought it was. See, all the information's on there, you just gotta read it. Let's get into it. Legs wise, it's a 6-year-old. It does have it builds some nice heavy legs, thick legs to it. They don't all run down at once. You still get a bit of the youth on the nose, lots of vanillas, lots of that caramel maltiness. Little apple, fresh apples. Oh. Maybe just a little touch of fruit compote. You get a little fruitiness with this. But the raw grain is still prevalent. It's not completely covered up. But I can tell you I've had 10-year-old whiskeys like, Glenmorangie 10. And this has a better nose than Glenmorangie 10. It's a little more rich in the nose. That 50% helps. It's not nearly as watered down. Maybe just a touch of cola in there. All right, cheers everybody. You do get the 50%. Lots of good tingles. It's not overwhelming the palate. Everything's really quite smooth. I got that dreaded word, smooth. Everything, there's no, other than the alcohol burst, After you make it past that, again, the vanillas and the caramel take over. There is a certain minerality to this one. Especially notice it in the later end of the palate as it starts to go into the finish. The minerality takes over. There's a touch of banana in here on the. Yeah, still get the apples, but there's a little bit of banana as it rolls into that finish on this. Maybe just every bit of touch of coconut. It's very tropical in nature. Especially in the finish. Let's see. For aesthetics, they don't make a better bottle for information and a better everything. 10 on aesthetics. Nose is good. 1 out of 20. I'm going to give the nose a 15. It's not great. Could be a lot better. Flavor-wise, the initial burst kind of drags it down a little bit. It has lots of flavors. It delivers them well. That 50% helps. But as far as a lot of flavors that I'm actually just going, this is great. No, I can't say that on this. I can't say it at all. The minerality note holds it back a little bit for me. I can't go over 15 for flavor. Even though I like the tropicalness it gives me at the end of the palate, into the beginning of the finish, the banana coconut play, I do like that. A mouthfeel, you do get a nice creamy mouthfeel with it. Mouthfeel's a 1 out of 20. I'm going to give the mouthfeel 17. It's got the 50% again is playing a part of the mouthfeel in this. And for a 6-year-old, the mouthfeel is far beyond what I would have expected. Finish. Finish is the best part of this whiskey. Once you get through that minerality note, if you're put off by the minerality note, you're not going to like this. But the combination of that minerality note working with this tropical banana coconut interplay, I really kind of like that. I think the finish, I want to go ahead. It's not a long finish. It's not like, but it's as long as any 10 or 12-year-old out there. But I would say it's a short to medium finish. The only thing right now left hanging around is just a touch of the minerality on the sides of the tongue. I still do like the finish. The finish is probably going to get a 17 out of it for me. Value, I know packaging plays a lot in what they're paying for value-wise, but value, as long as it stayed in the $65 range, it's worth trying. It may be your bag. This is one of those that I think if you're the right person that tries this and likes this is going to be your thing. I could see that as a young whiskey. And at $65, I don't think you'd be hurting yourself, even though I know you can buy 10s and 12s that are cheaper. That $65 to $70 range, I think this is right where it should be set. And so value-wise, I'm going to say a 7. So let's put her all together. 30, 40, 57, 67, 74, 81. So we got an 81 for a score for this. I think it's a fair score. I think it's a good score. Like I said, it's not a bad whiskey. And you're not going to see a lot of these on the shelf. I imagine most of them have been sold by this point. But they do still make the Islay Barley series, I think. And you're going to get probably really close to the same experience with it. I can't say for sure, but because whiskeys and distillers do change over time. But it was worth the price for me. I enjoy it enough. It's worth the price for me. Excuse me, whiskey burp. Well, with that, guys, I'm going to sign off. Remember, the spirit in the glass ain't running from you. Take your time, sip it, enjoy it. You'll be better for it, as will we all. Everyone have a good evening.